how different do you feel physically this year in the final start of the season versus last year? Because it just seemed like you're still getting stronger and stronger as we go.
Yeah, I mean, I think being at this many innings, already helps a lot. I think, I don't know, maturing and kind of understanding my body a little bit better and what it takes to get through a season and to still, be at my best towards the end of the season. But yeah, I mean, just a lot of different things I was able to learn this year, I think, of what really works for me, not just kind of like watching other guys and seeing a bunch of stuff, but what truly, works for me, what makes me feel my best and gets me through, 162. Obviously, still wasn't able to stay healthy the whole year, but just little things here and there.
Do you feel like you've got a lot of clarity on that? Just the routine between starts and just how to keep your body in a good position to succeed?
Yeah, I think a little bit more. I think, you're always kind of learning. Still, ultimately still trying to get stronger and throw harder and whatever, be able to move better, whatever it is. But, understanding where my body's at and what I need to be able to be ready for start days. It's kind of an art for starting pitchers and what works for you. So I think I'm always learning, but definitely learned a lot this year of what works for me.
How important was it for you to finish the season strong the way you did tonight, 5 shutout innings? Just how important was that for you?
Yeah, it meant a lot, especially the last 2 outings, not going the way I wanted to, and kind of a weird, 24 hours of knowing you're out of it, and but you still want to, like you said, you still want to finish strong for yourself, for your team, for the fans, for everybody. Everybody else deserves that out of you, and so you got to find it within yourself to give it everything you got.
What do you take into the off season? Like if you look at this now, and I'm sure you'll reflect more, but like, do you have goals for this off season? Is there something you want to work on? Is it refining your secondary stuff? Obviously, get some rest, but what do you want?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of everything. You take some confidence, you take some learning points, you take some things that you want to improve on. So for me, I try to take a little bit of time off. You kind of clear your head, and then you're able to kind of come back to it all a little bit better, a little bit clearer after a couple of weeks off. And then, we meet on Zoom or whatever it is with our coaches and other guys, and we kind of come up with plans for the off season. So you kind of wait a little bit, but I think most of all is just that I can, be an elite starter at this level and trust and the confidence in that comes with that. But I also know what it takes and, throughout the year, what it demands from your body, your mind, all those things. So, learned a lot.
Bryan, did you watch the game yesterday in Oakland and some of the goodbyes and stuff? I know you took an interest in. Did you watch some of that?
Yeah, I saw a bunch of clips. Got a lot of friends that were there. Stuff on social media, but yes, that was pretty cool to see like how many people showed up and. I mean, I've said it before, but it's unfortunate, obviously, what happened, and for me personally, so many memories there, and I know for countless others and people that grew up enjoying baseball there, learning baseball there, but definitely glad that they were able to go out on a win and a positive note. I think means a lot to the city and the fan base.
You seem to pitch pretty well against the A's. I mean, like, it's 6 starts, you're 5-0 with like a 0.5 ERA. I mean, like, is there anything about what they do or anything that matches up well, or?
No, I couldn't point anything on it. I think it's just, if you look over the starts, I probably was ahead in counts and did the little things well, and yeah, there's not really much to it.
Going back to the workload stuff, with both you and Bryce finishing on an upward trajectory, just how much have you kind of leaned on him and had conversations about where you guys are at this stage of the season, especially given the relationship you have with him dating back to being part of your draft class?
Yeah, we lean on each other a lot, have, countless conversations throughout the week and throughout the year. It's one of my best friends, and it makes it, really special to be able to kind of have that relationship with somebody that's on your staff that you feel you can ask anything about. You're going through so many of the same, experiences and learning, along kind of the same ways. And yeah, I mean, it means a lot. I think it makes both of our lives a lot easier, and try to use it to our advantage as much as we can.
I think you kind of touched on it on Rob's podcast, but just how smart is he as somebody to just pick his brain about whether it's pitch grips, acumen, just everything that he kind of brings?
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, he's definitely a lot smarter than he comes off as. But yeah, to have somebody like that, I mean, just honestly, our whole staff, Logan is incredibly smart on a number of different things, whether it's like mechanically, whether it's how to get through a season, whether it's like kind of taking that next step into, an elite starter, an elite pitcher in the league. But Louis got, experience. George is kind of just the king of simplicity and, consistency. So there's things that you can take from all the guys. So I think that's something that we have that's super special here, is just that bond and relationship between the five of us.
You guys had one of the best rotations in baseball this year, but obviously you aren't going to be pitching in October. Just how much did the focus of just putting up zeros kind of help you collectively get through the season, knowing that, maybe the offense was struggling at times, and just keeping your focus singular on you guys' task at hand every day?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can only really do our jobs, try to, support everybody on the team throughout the week, and be the best teammates that we can be, but also do our jobs, put up zeros, and so much of it is out of our control. So yeah, I mean, there's really not much to it besides just being a good teammate and being there for everybody on the days that you're not pitching, and then days you are pitching, then you just do your job and kind of let go of the rest of it.
How did those guys show up for you when you were going through the injuries and, frustrated, kind of trying to find your way through, wondering if you were going to get to this point? Did they give you any kind of words of consolation or anything that helped you get through it?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I think just kind of being there, I think it helps having any of those people in your life, whether it's teammates or family or friends or whatever, that support you no matter what, whether you're succeeding or failing or going through injuries or you're on the field or not. So you lean on a lot of other people in those situations. But, yeah, I mean, those guys, just I'd say the whole clubhouse, honestly, was great about the whole year. The first injury, coming out of spring training and not breaking with the team, and then going through, just kind of a number of injuries throughout the year and kind of battling through things. Everyone was really great about, being there, helping, advice, whatever it was. So, yeah, it's a pretty special clubhouse, so super lucky to be a part of that.
Really great ball game tonight. I thought Bryan Wu pitched 5 really strong innings today. Looked very, very strong. What a really incredible season for another one of our young starters. I thought he had a great year. Threw the ball well tonight, and then turned it over to our bullpen. That was fantastic. The lefties I thought threw very, very well, and getting Santos back out there was a big lift. And then Troy Taylor picking up his first career save is, that's a big deal for him, and he's pitched in some high leverage situations this year, so that was a good one to get for him. And then the solo homers, Garv really crushed it. Cal crushed it. Those were big knocks and gave us what we needed tonight. Our pitching was really, really strong.
Dan, with Bryan, the level of another gear that he's found in the second half of the season, how much is that going to carry over into next year? I mean, just the idea that he can go 7 through the lineup 3 times, things like that.
Yeah, I think that's been a big part of his year this year, and I think that's been a big part of his growth for sure. And understanding, how to do that, how to get deep into games. He's got some pretty good examples in front of him when they're pitching to see it from and to learn from, and he's been able to do that. And that like you said, that bodes well for next year. And he's just continuing to build. And this is such a great foundation, and I look forward to seeing him next year and continuing to improve.
What have you seen just in the short amount of time you've been with him, just the maturation that he has on the mound?
Yeah, I mean, his poise is excellent, and he uses his breath really, really well. He takes that deep breath before each pitch, and gets himself set, gets himself, in a good position to make the best pitch that he can. And, nothing seems to bother him out there. He just kind of, steady Eddie in his demeanor, and that's what you love to see. And he wants the ball, he really does. And just really happy for him that this year ended the way it did tonight.
Between him and Bryce last year at this time, they were both admittedly starting to feel it, the rigors of, the way that they were finishing the season. Just to see the upward trajectory that both of those guys are on, how encouraged is that?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we're hoping to be back, in the postseason tomorrow or next year, and having those guys be where they are right now is a good sign that when we get to the postseason, they'll be strong then too next year. So I think it's a really good sign that both of those guys have been able to get deep. They've had a lot of innings, but they continue to get stronger as the year goes on. All those things are pointing to something pretty good next year, and it's exciting.
What have you seen about their relationship as well? I mean, they came up and debuted like very close to each other. They've been linked to each other since the same draft class and everything. Just the bond that they've kind of formed.
Yeah, I think when you come up with somebody and your paths are parallel a little bit. There's a lot that you have in common, but I would say in general, this pitching staff is very, very tight, and this clubhouse is tight, and that's what you want, that's what you need. So those two definitely have a great bond, and certainly have really helped each other out.
And Troy Taylor gets a save today. I think he was pitching at Everett in May. I mean, to go from that to here, how much trust have you gained in this kid?
He's thrown the ball so well. But you're right. That his journey is pretty epic, coming from Everett to start the year and then ending up getting his first big league save in a 2-0 game. It was a tight game. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good movement for him, and he's been given some higher leverage situations, and he's been able to handle them. And you got to love that from a young kid, and he's another guy that really wants the ball in those situations, and that's a good sign.
He doesn't seem to have any fear. He doesn't seem to have any fear out there on the mound. He just attacks at all times.
Yeah, if he does, he doesn't show it, but he does. He loves to attack the strike zone. All our guys like to attack the strike zone, and when you have good stuff, they're not afraid. And Troy certainly is not afraid to attack the strike zone.
As a manager, how do you decipher when to start trusting a rookie in leverage spots a little bit more and more as the season goes on?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a feel thing. I think we talk about it a lot as a pitching group. You have to see certain markers here and there, and I think he slowly got into it and started to get higher and higher leverage situations, and you just kind of walk him through it, and he's gotten to the point where he was comfortable out there tonight in a 2-0 game, and he was able to deliver.
Are you gonna stay away from Mooney for these last 3 games? I know he had the back stuff early on, everything like that.
Yeah, it's kind of a day to day. We'll see how it goes. But we've got some other guys that can close down there, and right now we'll just kind of take it day by day.
Do you know who started?
Yeah, Hancock will be on the mound tomorrow. There'll be a corresponding move coming up, and then Gilbert will be on Sunday. So.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you, Dan.